Okay, so what we're going to do now is start the functional diagrams. You should have completed your approximate program element sizes and also the relationship analysis. And really the hardest part of starting to design is starting to design, right? So where do you start? So this is why we create the approximate program element sizes to begin to help us just initially just frame out or point out where areas would be before we actually end up with our theme over our functional or bubble diagram. So what you see here is just the approximate program element size images that I've created in AutoCAD and used to. So what you see here are the approximate program element sizes, which you should damn. So what you see here are the approximate program element sizes, which you should have already created in AutoCAD and printed out as a PDF. And I've just gone ahead and numbered each of these, and this could have been done in AutoCAD to make it more efficient, but I didn't, so I'm just numbering them now. And then I have a minimum and I have a maximum. And this is, for instance, we'll take the social seating gathering area. So I just want to identify areas that this would make sense being in. So my initial thoughts are that would probably be good places around the entrances, the patios. And I probably want to make this a little bit bigger out here, maybe something like that. Okay. Yeah, so we've already started. And that was 1, so I'll call those 1. Bigger one. Now we have the private seating and gathering areas, right? So this is the range. So I'm thinking those things should probably be in the corners, right, where it's more quiet. Something like that. Maybe something like that. Maybe something over here. Looks good for now. And I'm going to call those 2. 2. Okay. Bus stop. My bus stop ranges from this size to this size. I'm thinking the bus stop's probably going to be over here somewhere. It's like right here. And I'm going to call that 3. Garden storage area. I'm not sure. What would that be? I'm not going to put it in front of the AC units, right? Maybe we'll just put it here for now. Maybe we'll change that. I don't know. It's 4. Let me zoom in a little bit. Okay. What else? The gazebo. Maybe the gazebo's in the center in this instance, and just do this pretty quickly. These are very loose drawings between those two sizes. Maybe it's a little bit bigger actually. Maybe that's erased. Or maybe this is actually the edible garden here. And I want to make that bigger actually. I know I said it should be that, but this is approximation, and for the space I think it feels like it should be a little bit bigger. So I'm going to make that the edible garden. I'm going to call that 6. I'm going to do something different this time. And I'm just going to wrap. Say we just did this wrapped gazebo around it maybe. I don't know how that would go, but maybe this is a gazebo that just goes around it. And that would be 5 in here. Alright. So it looks like I have my major elements that I had approximate sizes for. So now that we're left with that, now if I turn this desat off and you see what we're kind of left with. I should try to clean that up some. And doing this by hand, you should try to work cleaner than this. This is one of the problems with working on the tablet the way I'm working, is that I'm not directly drawing on my screen, so sometimes stuff is not as clean. But anyway, you kind of get the general drift and see where I'm going with this. Turn this back on. So now you can begin carving out these other spaces, right? We didn't know what sizes these were going to be. So the first thing I know that I want to put in is going to be parking. So, that's going to kind of wrap right there. It's parking. Turn this a little bit, maybe that'll help some. So that's probably going to be parking right there. Okay. This is probably going to go through. Kind of have that walkway there, I was thinking though. Alright, and if that's going to be parking, then this is probably going to be parking too in here. Just turn this on. And I know I said I wanted a screen right here. Actually, let me just delete that, make that a little bit cleaner. More level, okay. I don't know, I wanted some type of screen in here, so maybe that's a screen right here. And in this case, I'll make that screen probably a shrub or a planter bed rather. That's what I'm thinking. Okay. This part looks like my rain garden here. And maybe that's a naturalized area, and maybe this here. Come down. Maybe that's something else, I'm not sure yet. Maybe a naturalized area or a planting area, I don't know. I'm just carving space right now. Maybe this becomes something else. Probably a walkway, a major walk coming down. It kind of makes sense to me. Maybe this is a vertical landscape element. I drew that off. Let me zoom in a little bit. There. Okay. Turn this again. Have these planter beds here, so they obviously become something here. Planters again. And then maybe this is another kind of walk in here. That'll become a walk. And on this side, maybe that's something. And then this is a walk. Maybe that wall connects. You see, I'm just kind of carving space here. I'm trying to figure this thing out as I go. And maybe we want some type of buffer here, I don't know. So maybe that's a buffer. So planter bed. And then coming up. Just thinking about the space. Maybe there's another one here, just kind of buffers that walk from that. And this would be a walk. And you just clean these pieces up as you go. Maybe that's an art element or something there. Better yet, maybe that's a screen. Maybe that's part of the screen. And you can see how that's why I always recommend doing this in pencil first, so that you can change things, because these things will change shape on you. Alright. So there. So I'm kind of getting some spaces right now. Maybe this is a vertical feature here. Maybe there's a water feature there. Maybe there's a shrub lawn here. And maybe my lawn space starts here. And here goes my lawn. And I'm coming down. Turn this thing around. So this is going pretty fast. Maybe this is a vertical landscape element here. And I'll go back and number this when I'm done. Just kind of wrap around. You know we wanted to screen this, so maybe that's a planter bed. Send them out along, just kind of wrapping like this. Maybe that's a vertical element, and maybe this is a big space. Maybe this is a planter bed. Big space. Maybe this is an art feature. This comes down here. Trying to make these shapes kind of flow. And this would spell out to lawn here. This might come around. Maybe there's something similar here. Maybe that was the feature there, and then this lawn space is coming down. I'll turn this again. Maybe we have vertical landscape element here again. Maybe there's planter around here. Just being very loose with this again. Maybe this is still turning it. Just another area here. This turns in. Maybe that's another area here. Maybe I'm alternating between the vertical landscape element and this kind of a horizontal planter bed. And then maybe we end up with something here, I don't know. So now we kind of have this lawn piece kind of curving in. All right. Turn this back up right. And zoom out a little bit. So when I turn this, the contours off, you kind of see what we have. And this is a really rough bubble diagram, and you would just go back and then refine these pieces some. And maybe that's straight coming down. And that edge. Make this a little bit neater. But the idea of these things is they're loose, because these shapes will change. These aren't absolute, these are just kind of placeholders for things. And I can go back in a number, like I said, if we're talking about maybe the art element, maybe, and maybe there is an art element here. Keep on coming back to that. So maybe that's an art element, and that's, what is it, 14? And the rain garden I said was 10, so maybe this is 10. This is 10. Naturalized area. Our native planting areas should be like 9, so maybe that's 9 there. Maybe that's 9 there, 9 there. And this is a walkway, specialized walkway. That's specialized walkway. Maybe that's the lawn. And you see how we're just numbering these pieces and kind of giving them flow and function. You know, I'm doing vertical, landscape element, and then maybe the planter again, which is 7, 11, 7, 7, 7. Maybe this is an 11. It's a really cool vertical landscape feature instead of just a planter bed. Planter bed, maybe. Planter bed. Maybe this is 14, or maybe that's a water feature there. Maybe that's 13. I'm kind of missing some water features, and you can kind of notice then too where things are lacking. So I don't really have any water features anywhere. So maybe it's part of this gazebo. Maybe there's a water feature near it. Maybe 13, and the space would wrap kind of around it. That's a big water feature, if that's a water feature. Let's call that a planter bed, 7. And the vertical landscape then, 11. Okay, so that's basically you starting to have a diagram, then planter beds for these last couple out. Maybe that's a walkway to cut you across. And I guess that would actually cut across to the other walkway, so we can erase that. Begins to make some sense. So maybe that kind of extends into it like that. And these pieces kind of flow. Could have drawn that nicer than that. There you go. There you go. Erase those corners. This is why you draw it in pencil first. And there you go. So you kind of have this flow kind of occurring here, and that can be one functional diagram. And there's thousands of variations of these things that you can make, but this is how you start.